right, so welcome to week 10 of our 3D class. Just a little bit of an overview right now of what's going on today. So initially I was going to be, I saw last week everyone's like midterms going up here and all the great feedback everyone was getting, and I was like, we have to do like rendering. So I went into Maya and I started, playing around with what I was going to go over, and everything started bogging down. And what I realized is that even on my computer, rendering is the most resource intensive thing. Even with some of the smaller stuff I was rendering, um, you know, a, a single scene with like a bit of fruit on top, it was getting very um, bogged down. And I realized that if everyone is just getting into class being online, um, you know, you don't, it's not a good way to start up our like online work with like spending several minutes waiting for 3 pictures to render. And then I looked into the Arnold renderer as well and realized when we're at home, we don't have the license, which means everything is watermarked, which is just, ugh. Um, so we will go over rendering, but it is going to have to wait a little bit. I'm going to have to see about things we can do to really, really decrease render time now, because that's gonna be such a necessity for us. So we will get to it. It's just not a good time right now. So instead, we are going to be going over cleanup tools for the next couple weeks. So this week, it's going to be mostly about cleaning up geometry level stuff. So finding all these weird non-manifold things, let me prove that it's broken because it is, finding all this kind of stuff and fixing it. We have gone over some things. There are some other tools now that we understand how to model a little bit better, now that you'll know what I'm talking about when I say edge and vertex and face and things like that. We need to learn about some of those tools. Next week, we're going to briefly go over it this week, but then next week we're going to go full on into organizing your scene. So all these midterms came in and they look great, but the outliner is like there's an insane amount of things in there. So we need to go over naming things and like really cleaning up extra history and things like that. And then we need to get back on that modeling horse. So I'm breaking out an old tutorial. I'm going to update it, but it is modeling a plushy pig. So this is not a pig that you can animate. This is this is meant to be like just a little stuffed animal sitting on the desk. So we're gonna use the symmetry feature in the toolbox or the toolkit to have one side look exactly like the other. And it's gonna be a lot like the wheel, where it's starts off a little bit more specific. So there's going to be a lot more like, this is how you start it. And then as we're going, it's going to be, just like, oh, extrude this, do this. This tutorial would be good for any sort of quadruped plushie. So if you would rather do a rhinoceros or a hippopotamus than a little pig, that would be fine. I keep mentioning roundish animals because that's what this looks like. If you were to switch to something like a horse, technically you could do that, but if we keep it, plushy and squishy and not perfectly anthropomorphically, or not anthropomorphic, perfectly anatomically correct to quadrupeds, this will be a little bit easier. Right, but it's going to be, using the same tools we've been using: extrude, insert edge loop, multi-cut, all those things, but for a more organic shape. Not fully organic. Again, this is not going to have edge loops in the right place for animating, but these are softer features than what we've been doing. Everything we've been doing is so mechanical. I want us to kind of start going into things that aren't necessarily that mechanical. All right. So if you have a different kind of animal in mind that you'd like to do, that'll be fine. Because again, I think this class thrives on having a bit more freedom for things. So it does not, even if you do a pig, it doesn't have to look like this one. All right. So that is going to be our sort of major project this week, our major assignment. All right. So the lecture will be on how to fix up geometry, and then the assignment will be the pig tutorial, which will mostly be with the PDF and not so much with the video.